Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have the rank 1 probably world ELISE jungle player, who does actually play home mid as well when need be. 1400 OP on EUS, the only one on the rankings list that has actually played a substantial amount of ELISE this season and is challenger. The rest are sort of master, 50, 60, 70 games. You can't really rank that when someone else has got like almost 200 games at a 71% win rate clip in challenger. So essentially she is by herself and dominating everybody. Let's see how she does it, with what build she does it, and of course how one uses ELISE in this meta. Feels like it's been years since ELISE was sort of dominating with Lee Sin and everyone's like, oh good grief, ELISE and ELISE. Most modern players who've only been playing for a few years will be like, I've never seen an ELISE or anyone be good at ELISE, so hopefully this can show you a little bit of that power. On your screen now, an electrocute one-shot page. That's exactly what we want. You can of course go booties and cosmic and things like this on basically any jungler, but absolute focus is an extremely good and potent assassin-based rune. I will be putting up this build plus all the ELISE builds and tips on my live companion jungle guide on Zara.gg. That should go up tomorrow along with Shyvana and Lilia. Those will be the final 3 in this next phase. Please be on the lookout for that and I will link it in the description when it is available. Now, blue buff start. And if you were thinking, hey, should we do some kind of 5 or 6 camp? You're capping yourself because that's not, no, that's not what you do in ELISE. We are a high pressure jungler. And in a bot lane win con meta, where basically bot lane is do this and use Draven and Kalista and just run at each other really, really quickly, ELISE is going to be the difference maker while Karthus AFK farms, while your Kindred tries to invade you, while your Graves decides which one of the plethora of clears he can do, that he should do. You have ELISE here doing a 3 camp, a 4 camp, a buff Gromp into a bottom lane action. I think this is standard stuff. If you feel like you want to delay your gank for whatever reason, level spikes for example, like, you know, if you want to wait for level 3, then you can look to do red into blue side, do a 4 camp, but that's depending on laner matchups and, you know, at what level you wish to show up and actually impact that lane. But when you are ELISE, you're the gank. By yourself, you're the gank. As long as you hit that cocoon, or as Medius would say, the cum shot, then, oh, that was a long time ago when she was in pro play, then you, of course, this is exactly the kind of pressure you're looking to exert. Now, oh, this is quintessential, this is classic, this is beautiful, this is standard stuff. Hey, buff Gromp into a bottom lane dive. Karthus is full clearing and says, I know I might be invaded here, my bot lane's low, let me ward. Don't care, didn't ask, show up and kill, repel to reposition. Hello bot lane, I'm taking a minion wave. Remember, well that was nice. Faith XD with a beautiful flash cocoon in the minion wave. I was gonna say, there's a lot of damage from the minions, but again, oh no, oh no. Oh no, this is, the fact that Blitzcrank gets the kill is the best. Okay, so that was quite a hectic first rotation. If you're expecting anything else, then you don't know what ELISE does, which is of course pressure, pressure, pressure. Karthus needs to be invaded. If there's no ganks, that's what you're doing. Sometimes you're just doing both of those things, invading and ganking, ganking and invading. That's what you're looking to do. PvP prowess. Now here the Jax has TP'd, got himself a kill and a Sheen. That is unfortunate. But back in the day, as you all know, 20 CS on the Karthus, moving, showing, telegraphing. Why would you do that? What will ELISE do about this particular pathing recognition? You're not doing Krugs, you're not doing Raptors, you're going straight back to the lane that has no sums, it's already died. We did give buffs to the Blitz, which is okay. We do miss a cocoon there. I had to itch my nose, and apparently so did he, because that can be the only explanation of him showing up here. This is it. Drive your Karthuses, your Fiddlestickers, your farming junglers into an absolute mind frenzy. Like, they need to feel the need to respond to you just running at your lane. It's like the Nunu effect for skilled players. But of course, you can have that natural assassination damage way later in the game. You hit someone in a cocoon. When you're fed, they're dead. Now, to show you how it does work when you need to do Krugs, it's not exactly terrible. The Hextech Alternator Rush does give you that extra burst proc that we kind of like, although Blasting One is typically better on your things like Diana and things that really benefit from those ratios, but at least wants as much burst damage in a short amount of time as possible. And yeah, the Blasting One is, I still think, will feel better on many, many champions. Faith XD prefers to go with that alternator here. Double burst proc with electrocute plus that extra, you know, zap from that itemization. Plus a little bit of survivability is always good. Now, you kind of got the double buffs from killing the Leona at the bottom side here. Obviously, ignoring the mistake, which I corrected in text, she doesn't have absolute focus. You can go absolute focus, but water walking is just super, super good here. Controlling rivers, potent roaming potential. Deep ward here by the Blitzcrank, so we'll see that. Now we've been forced after that fight to fall back to camps. And when you have to fall back to Krugs and Raptors, as you can see, it's not exactly smooth sailing. You know, you're doing it because you're going to have that experience, but it's not something where you really want to fall back to it. You know, if you're falling back to it with multiple kills and assists, that's perfect, but you're looking at 100% KP, you will be down 15-16 CS versus your Karthuses. That is just the nature of life when you're an Elise player. And that's why high ganking junglers have a lot of risk involved. And only the best players with the best mechanics who can really understand how to execute successfully and understand that you need to repeat and abuse. And tower dives are the name of the game. Really, they are just the name of the game. We could go to blue side here, right? To shadow, counter jungling, maybe impact the Jax. No, we're going to go for the bottom lane. We do miss the cocoon. It doesn't really matter. The cocoon is much like a Nidalee Spear. It's more reliable than the Nidalee Spear. Why would you... What? Fire. Come on now. Come on now. But that is what's going to happen against most of your Karthuses. Again, the Qiyana's rotating. See, that time we do hit the cocoon. Look at that burst proc with the alternate plus the electrocute. Should you have it, obviously you got to pay attention to that cooldown. We're not going to beat a Qiyana 1v1, but hey, it's worth trying, I think. There are a few more deaths this game, just to show you a little bit of the weaknesses. Like in that particular respect, you're down 2 levels now. You're down a level to the Karthus. You're not going to have that experience at your hands. You will have the gold, and you will have the damage you can use, but do keep track of your electrocute. I mean, if you go and use it for a trade here, and then you want to all in the Qiyana here, for example, if your electrocute's on cooldown, you're going to lose a lot of damage. Something Evelyn players can focus on as well. Karthus now decides, hey, I'm sick of this shit, I'm going bot lane, let me get a shutdown. And at least his force at this point is said, look, I've really focused on bottom lane here. I have 8 out of 10 KP. I did die to the Qiyana. That's unfortunate, but now I need a bit of levels. And that's the reality of the situation. You must fall back at some point to take some camps, but it is not the first order of business, yes? We do want to get level 6. Remember, in Spider form, when you're dueling and fighting, you do get a bit of sustain back, right? You do get some healing back from your AP rate. You do more damage, but you also get restoring of health. So it's not gigantic, right? The attacks, it's not gonna be like your Udyr or your Belveth or something like that, but it's definitely substantial once you get used to the champion's mechanics. I played a lot of Elise back in Season 3. I mean, if you played in Season 3 and Season 4, you played Elise. I mean, that's just what you did. No one does it now. We have roams from the Blitzcrank. We have roams from the Qiyana. There's a lot of pressure being exerted across the map here, and, you know, the Karthus is holding in the bottom lane, the Kalista is top lane, the Blitzcrank is mid lane. We're kind of just sneaking this away, hoping no one rotates down. That's about as much as you can do. But when you camp lanes like this with Elise, and that's the kind of high pressure exertion I want to see out of you if you're playing it, you're gonna have enemy laners in lower ranks tilt, roam the map, do stupid things. Mostly they'll just go back to lane and die to you again. Like, you can cheese the Evelyn bush here, the sort of gank it, counter jungle, hover strategy, but Herald is crucial. We're okay not giving up. We're okay giving up that first dragon, but the Herald, because you need the gold offset, right? You're going to lack in the experience department, and obviously gold, because you're not going to farm as much, so you want to make it up through kills, and of course, through tower plates. We're going to use a bit of our prior here for our bottom lane to try and snack this, and this is quite good. This is quite good, because just thinking about it, I had someone ping me in the Discord, low elo, saying, you know, what do I do if my bottom lane goes up and does a dragon at an ill time? Like, what if they do it when I don't think we should do it? Well, sometimes if the enemy bottom lane is just swapped and kind of tilted and roaming around the map, then that's something that you can allow to happen. Just make sure you're there for the smite if they're doing it. But in this case, if you know that the Karthus is clearing, they've done a full lane swap here with Blitzcrank at the top lane as well, then go ahead, let them do it and just farm your camps, you know, take the free win. But if they're doing it at a bad time, what would I do if they're doing it? If they're doing it at a bad time and they die and they give it up, that's okay. I mean, as long as you control your camps and you use the pressure somewhere else with your Herald, then, you know, such is life. But ideally, elevate the game state. Now, this game is, of course, still 25 minutes, so don't worry too much. I've lost way too many games that I care to admit when an enemy team or enemy laner gets tilted at my pressure, moves around the map as a sort of troll, but because our team doesn't respond in any way, they just get fed. Like, look at this. Now they're cheesing. Right, we're going to focus on the Karthus here on the top side. Karthus will zone, uses the W gate for Magic Shred. At least he's just going to flash in. They go in on the Karthus. The Karthus does use Exhaust. We're able to... good night. Outplayed by skill. Skillful button. Good Exhaust by the Karthus, though. Normally that would render him dead. You live and you repel and you move away, but not much we can do about that situation. 336 now, 9 out of 11 KP. 3-6 gold on the Kalista, 7-4 on the Draven. So the Draven is Giga fed. But how did he get Giga fed? You, the jungler, you impacted the lanes. Go see the video on the main channel. This is why your lane is in. Because it's a very easy fix for it. The ELISE has conducted herself accordingly. Mostly, 99% of it in this video. The Karthus has not. And that video should enlighten the relationship, the paradox, almost, that exists between junglers and laners. And I think it's very important to understand those things. Do clear this ward. Yes. Remember, bonus attack speed. Got on your W there on the spider form so you can kill it quicker. Don't stand in human form. Of course, you can swap back to human form and auto-attack it as you're running away. But in this case, we want to stay. We want to infuse. We want to elevate the game state. ELISE should feel difficult. This should feel like a tough game to follow mentally. Like I'm talking quickly. She's moving quickly. The action's moving quickly. A lot of things are happening. That's it. That's ELISE. Can we hit the cocoon? We force the flash. Free flash almost every single time. They've changed it over the years. The fact that it's faster now that's very nice. Much more Lord of the Rings when she chucks out that sperm shot than it used to be. I mean, same with Zyra. That E travel time is it has a travel time, you know, and modern champions can react very, very quickly, especially things like Kiana. And ELISE needs that reliability. Without that, she doesn't have a lot. Do remember though, when you chuck out your Spiderling form W here, and you swap into Spider form and then you Q in Spider form, it will launch that Spiderling to the target. Okay, so you can kind of chuck it, and if it's gonna miss 100%, but you're within range of someone to use your, see, look here, we've just chucked the Spiderling. If we are able to now hit our Spider form bite on the Karthus, that Spiderling will suicide onto him, all right? So that's what we're trying to get into here. Here we go, see, look at this. Now it's gonna hit, unfortunately, so we're not gonna get to see the animation, but it looks like the W hits anyway, so we're not gonna get to see the animation as she Qs here, but if she Q'd and the Spiderling was like on the side, it would have traveled to the Karthus. He is up 2 levels now, right? Because while she spent her time farming heralds and farming champions and, well, not really farming, but trying to farm champions, he's been farming camps, looping them, lapping them, slapping them, consuming them, licking them. And now Kiana's gonna rotate again, probably get a kill here on someone else. That's not so good. Karthus is gonna press the R button. Draven's gonna die as well, so that's not good either. Will she die? No. We still have a good lead. Let's have a look at the jungle cash monies. 5-4 to 5-9. So despite that very aggressive beginning, forcing the Karthus to make compromised decisions, he now has a gold lead. And that's the downside of carnivorous jungling, my friends. When you go gank heavy, path heavy, ignoring your camps to a certain degree, you will end up behind. But we have Rocket Belt, we have Sulk Shoes, and we have Electrocute, which means someone, whoever gets hit by that E in human form, that cocoon shot, will die. And that's the beauty of it. However, bit of downtime at the moment, typically. In this phase of the game, late early game, as we transition to the mid game, general tip, when your laners are dead, throwing, you're dead, whatever, and no one's on the map to do anything, just farm your camps, right? Don't look for some deep invade, don't look to split. No one's there to back you up, just farm your camps. When your team are up again, sequence down, and then you can make a cohesive play together. Here we go. CC into W, into... It goes so quickly. You really need to make sure you're hitting that E, right? You can chuck out your W and your Q in human form, and then immediately you can swap to the spider form. If you need a gap close, you can use that Q to gap close. Ideally, you can spend the time walking up, going into spider form, and then saving your Q for a bit more of an execute chomp, and then of course activating that W from movement speed. But essentially, it's a one fluid combo, right? From human form, cocoon, using your W and your Q into the spider form to finish it off. Then using your repel as either as a gap closer or escape. Crucial, 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 and then swapping back. You are faster in spider form, so you don't want to move around the map in human form necessarily, unless you're checking bushes for cocoon. You can probe bushes with your W as well, but typically when you're moving around, we want to be in spider form. Also remember, you can repel to plants. Don't know why I don't see that enough. You can, in fact, repel to plants or wards that are freshly placed. Always very nice. We're a little low now. Karthus is dead. Showing up is the Blitzkranker with a hook of doom, I'm sure, destined for our face. Well, or ass. And then we have, dying in repel is kind of sad. I was kind of waiting, and then I just realized what was happening. I was kind of waiting for the Karthus ult in. Dying to ignite in spider form is bad. You can tell I'm tired when she repels and dies. I'm like, when is she coming down? That's how you know I'm tired. I'm trying to get as many videos out as possible. Please bear with me as I get into this new rhythm. I might start streaming these though. I'll go back to streaming them maybe, like I can do batches of 3 in a stream or something. We can do Q&A and chat in between, because kind of trying to do this once a day while doing coaching and going around the main channel has proven a bit fatiguing with a baby as well. But you're seeing here 3, 5, and 10. I didn't want to pick something that necessarily had like a, 12-0 sort of performance. I wanted to show you there are downsides to this playstyle, but the fact that you're down 2 levels doesn't mitigate your personal advantage and your personal power. And that's crucial when you're strong farming jungler. Hi Jax, rocket belt into an E doesn't hit, hookshot doesn't hit either, Camille doesn't hit either, nothing hits basically. We have another one up though. Is anyone else disgusted by Jax as a champion still? There you go. That's me. You saw there, as soon as you chuck out that spiderling, you go into Q form. Oh, dear me. Again, dead before we even get the repel off. Jax, man. Spear Shojin Jax. No. This Kiana is absolutely monstrous at the moment, but our bot lane is so turbo fed, they're running with it. This is going to happen a lot, provided you choose the right lane to gank. And, one could argue maybe you should gank the Kassadin to get the Kassadin ahead, but at the same time, why? Because Kassadin's going to be useful provided you can somewhat support him a little bit and give him pressure release, forcing the counter to roam to let him get plates and experience. That's good, right? He doesn't necessarily need personal babysitting, but it is a good lane to gank, the Kassadin. Like, if I had a terrible bot lane and top lane, I've played with Kassadins, I like camping them, getting them snowballing. It's a free win usually. But in case of bottom lane with a Draven, he can absolutely turbo stomp the map from this. And the nice thing about the Draven with the Leona is you can play off of them very, very easily, and they will obviously hit towers. Gap closing with our smooth flash. Gap closing with our repel to get onto the Kalista there for the chomp and then flash over the wall. Cocoon misses again, doesn't really matter. That spiderling is in its form. It does explode before we are able to do anything else. Kiana's are running away. Zhonya's is good. You could go Lichbane for like turbo single target burst. You can, of course, there it was. Here you go. See what I'm saying? Watch this. Here you go. This is it. Okay, here it is. So we check the spiderling out, right? Now watch the spiderling as the Elise is going to cue these babies. Watch it fly. See? There it is. There it is. Boom. All right? You see? So it's quite a nice range to it as well. So if you chuck it and it misses, as long as you hit that Q on a champion, it's going to fly, it's going to explode, and you're going to be thumbs up happy. We are on the rocket belt. Zhonya's tech, though, as I was saying, it's just better. In terms of survivability, in terms of how you want to fight fights, gap closing, and of course, stasis. Now, you can go Nash's Tooth for more of a DPS-focused build. There's a PTA rune set. I'm going to slap that in the Zardo.gg guide. I've made one of those on this channel before as well. So you can watch that ELISE video if you're curious about how that works. Next, we do have a sort of Lichbane proc, since they've put some on-hit stuff onto the ELISE kit last year, I think I remember. But typically, you're still looking at Rocket Belt, Zhonya's, Void. Can go Banshee's Veil in certain matchups, but a Rock on Death Cap is always good if you're snowballing well, typically. Plus a Magi. I mean, those are those sort of mega fed games, though. For more, the match history will link to this game and the play, and you can study what they build in different scenarios and what is preferred. Shadow Flame is obviously an item that some champions build, although I'm not a huge fan of it. I do like the penetration, and I do like the needlessly large rod aspect of the itemization. It doesn't force me to hang on to like multiple needlessly large rods for all time until they get death cap. Kassadin is now splitting in the top lane. We are reasonably close. The dragons have been good, the heralds have been good. We have 4, 6, and 12, not the best, but let's now see what ELISE can do in the later game. Rocket Belt into a cocoon stun, jacking up the full combo there with a W. Kalista's on the side swipe here. We're going to Q onto the Karthus there for a bit of extra chomp damage and gap close. We're going to move away from his... we do have Repel here to ignore the Karthus ult. Thank goodness, finally that works, because that's exactly what was trying to... She was trying to do that the whole game, but the Karthus was kind of hanging onto that ult. And now Kassadin is doing Kassadin things. You see, you just got to buy him time sometimes. Dragon's up as well. 5, 6, 13. More kills to come, don't worry. Don't worry. I wanted something that was not stereotypically ELISE, because... One... You know, hey, look, this ELISE is perfect early game. No downsides. Just killed everybody. Snowballed. There's loads of those videos. But what happens if we do the right decisions? We don't get the kills, enemy jungler's farming, jungler's up 2 levels, and we still have to play around this. I mean, what are we at now? 8-5, and he's at 10-3. Just because he's farming, using his ult, and he happens to be Karthus with exhaust. We can trade here the dragon for the Baron. I like this. Remember, carnivorous junglers, you will be down in experience. You will not have the same map control as other junglers that are in the meta. If you can snowball a lane correctly and pick the right lane to snowball, all right, play around them, let them play around with you. Swap a dragon for a Baron. Like, this is exactly what we want. We need this wave clear because we don't have the best wave clear, you know, in this game, and we're gonna need it to hold on a little bit. So we'll trade that for a dragon. We're gonna lose all of this. Draven ult with the steal. Oh, not even, look at this, not even falling back to camps. You're not even falling back. Oh, yeah, now we can, but not kind of focusing on this, focusing on getting into the wave and pushing the wave, getting now into the jungle, putting deep vision, looking to trap and assassinate, shadow the Cassid in here. Jax is on the bottom side with Camille. We can push this up. They're going to be forced to cut through all base and come down. Yep, they stayed out. Leona hits. We go in. Mega damage. Stopwatch use. Elise is in the top side. Here she comes, here she comes, here she comes. Probing, holding. Is it doomed? Waiting. Here we go. Bait, bait, bait. Cocoon hits. Spiderling hits. Q chomp, execute, kills. Repels, avoids a stun, repositions, goes onto the Karthus. Nice chomp again. Uses a rocket belt. Will we hit another Q? Yes, we do. It looks like we did. Kassadin cleans up. Jax TPs. Kassadin repositions with ult. We chomp that minion wave. We're waiting for CDRs. E is up. He leapfrogs away from it. W does hit though. Nice explosion. 7-6-14. Right? Repositioning. Cocoon shots. High haste. Circle your abilities, circle your form as much as you can. Always. And this W is huge, right? Because it's missing HP, so you get that effective execute. The low HP there, the better it is. Which is why you want to upfront your burst with a Cocoon, Spiderling, and Venom Bite and Human Form. That you do as much damage as possible. And then when you go in, if you're melee, you don't have to use a Q immediately. I know it's typically done just to get as much damage and finish off with W. You can use a W just to get them lower and then use a Q. Depends on who you're fighting and how fed you are as well. Clear vision? Yes. Yep, there you go. Use a W as we need. Enemy jungler, enemy laners, all seen. Ha, Kiana. Chuck the Cocoon, chuck the Spiderling. That explodes for a lot of damage now, by the way. 608 magic damage. We are going, it looks like, into the Shadow Flame, which, as I said, is an item that you can buy. It's good for HP as well. Always nice to have a bit more survivability on Elise. W over the wall. 1 Cocoon equals 1 dead person. See? You can just lead with your Q now because you do so much damage. And dude dies. 1 Cocoon equals 1 dead person. Think of it like Jungle Blitzcrank, but actually good. And, you know, like, usable. I did tell you guys in the Blitzcrank video, don't run Predator. Don't go full damage. Try out a Conqueror, more conservative rune set. Try Chem Tank first. Maybe Nashes if you're feeling a bit bold. But no, you all ran Predator and went full damage. So I don't know why I have a Predator Gale Force Blitzcrank in my main account's game, running it down with 3 CS a minute. Please don't do that. Please listen to the warnings I give. For Elise here, off we go. If you're not playing carnivorous, if you're not playing aggressive enough, you will, my friends, be down 2, 3, 4, 5 levels on enemy junglers. The repel there, we weren't quite in range. We use our rocket belt for a bit of gap closing. We chuck out our Cocoon there. It does hit. Oh, nice flash Q onto the Kalista to make sure she dies. We're Zanya Zing to avoid the Counter-Strike stun. Excellent peel. Thank you, Leona. Using maneuverability and stasis to outplay the Jax. Double kill. 10-6-17. Team surrenders. We're up 10,000 gold. Don't care that the Karthus has 41 CS. 41 more CS. Don't care about the farming jungler at all. We invaded, we ganked, we got the lane we needed to ahead, we secured the Herald, we elevated the game state, and we played with high pressure. No AFK sequencing. No full sequencing. No go to do my camps first, get level 6 first. Just always pressure, high throttle jungling. It does come with high risk, but if you can mechanically outplay all of these scenarios, I think that's a crucial thing here. Right? You saw how she had to outplay all these different scenarios just to make the champion work. You have to be very quick on your spell rotations and knowing when and where to use your repel before you do it, or just, it has to be like the second sense, as it would. Spider sense, if you will. Thank you very much for watching. Please download the Zada GG Elise guide when it's available. Should be tomorrow. And hope you enjoyed and learned something. Do like, share, and comment what champions you'd like to see next. We're doing about 6 of these a week at the moment. Head to the main channel for extra in-depth coaching style content. And as always, I will see you all in the next video.